Well, we will report about several populations, and this is why I will start with a general background, and then Ana and Juan will introduce some peculiarities of the populations. Yeah? A good thing of a bad thing of being the penultimate is that nearly everything is said. So I will focus on probably new ideas or new situations. But if you feel that I am missing something or you are interested in something I am overlooking, just say it. So we have quite some rollers in Spain. It's a breeding species, and it is also to see during migration. So you can see the roller in Spain. Sorry, the roller in Spain from April to October. Yeah. What is the situation in Spain? The distribution of the species can be depicted in this map where you see two subpopulations, one in northeast Spain and the second one central and south Spain. The highest densities can be found in western Spain, the Guadalquivir River Valley, and eastern Spain. But this subpopulation is also important. It is about 200 to 250 breeding pairs. So the population size and trend between 2000 and 2016 was estimated between 6,000 pairs, with a medium quality of the estimate and a moderate decline. We do not have accurate information about the Spanish population simply because we do not know about many breeding areas. Yeah? It's difficult for us to estimate. In fact, we will not try. So what we will do is to report about the situation in well-known populations in Spain. And these are the ones depicted with this red spot. I will say Almería. I am working with the population in Almería. Granada. Juan is working in Granada, not far from Almería. Murcia, the person in charge of the population in Murcia is not here, so I will tell you about this population. Both populations in Catalonia, and then I will say it to you. And we have some information from Western Spain. Yeah. So, some attempt to give some numbers about the population and the trends in the last years. Let's start with Granada. It's a small population, and I think that in this period the population is stable. Something similar to Almería, small population with a moderate increase caused by nest box installation. Yeah. In Extremadura, we do not have accurate information, and the reports we have is perhaps a very slight decline. Yeah. In Catalonia, however, there is a moderate increase, and in Murcia, there is a very sharp decrease. Pay attention to this, that the number of individuals, 300, and I will give you some figures later on. So, in summary, we think that the available information, this information is of good quality, suggests likely stable. But as said before, there are big gaps in our knowledge. We do not know what is really happening in, for instance, Western Spain. Yeah, we think it is important to give some hints about the population, the different populations, so that you understand the variety of situations we have. Yeah, it's not the same my population than the one in Granada or the one in Catalonia. So I will start with my population. With the population in Murcia. The breeding area is associated to river valleys, to these sandy cliffs or marlaceous cliffs. In the 80s of the last century, the population was about 600 pairs. Remember, I have just said that now we have about 300 individuals. Most pairs used to breed in natural cavities in these cliffs. A fraction of the population is also breeding in cavities in palm trees, very nice, but also with particular problems. Recently, some nest boxes have been installed, and they are regularly occupied. And this nest box installation is a particular initiative, nothing to do with the administration. The monitoring methods, I will go very rapidly, is applied to the whole province. It is a large area, and it is based on the work of volunteers. Yeah? They make about 3 visits during the period 15 June, 15 July, so they can get an approximate idea of the situation all over the province. This is not the case in other populations where we are working, except for Catalonia, we are working in specific populations. This is my population. It's very nice. They will say the same about their population, but I have to say my population. Yeah. Well, it is a semi-arid area, and pairs used to breed in natural cavities like this. You see, seemingly there are many holes, but this is not the fact. Yeah. And they were also using human construction, like bridges in these holes, from time to time in houses. So, next box, supplementation evidenced nest site limitation. So when I started, I will show you there were few breeding pairs, and they increased dramatically with the next box. But after nest box supplementation, rollers initially went on using natural cavities. Later on, they moved from the natural cavities to the nest boxes. Yeah. Both limitation of natural suitable holes due to the decrease of key species such as the beeater, Angelo pointed out, yeah, and other underlying factors may account for the current situation. And now we, together with Radovan Bakla, are trying to bring some pairs back to natural cavities. I will come back to this later because I think it's important. The monitoring methods in Almeria, it's simple. We have two areas, and we follow them intensively during the whole breeding season. We are making some research on it, and so we follow the breeding pairs nearly every day. Yeah, we measure the chicks, we ring them, and we make some experiments in an attempt to get additional information about very different topics. So I think, yeah. Well, this is my population. I started working there in 2005 till 2006, and this is like just want to show the change in the nesting site of the rollers. So blue means roller nest in nest boxes, red in sand pits, in natural cavities, and yellow in bridges, in human construction. And these are the number of nest boxes available, yeah, and these are the number of nests, yeah. So at the beginning, in 2005, I started putting only 13 nest boxes. Most of rollers were breeding in sand pits and in bridges, and the current situation is that most birds are breeding in nest boxes and very few in sand pits and in bridges. We started making an experiment trying to bring rollers back to natural cavities in 2012. But if you are interested, I can tell to you about this later on. So now Juan probably can explain better than me the situation in Granada.
Okay. Well, I'm working in Granada in a population that I think that is quite different to theirs, and also is more beautiful. Well, the most interesting thing I think is that is in 1,000 meters above the sea level. So I think that is the altitudinal distribution of the species, or more or less at least in Spain. And the main land uses are cereal crops and almond groves, but almond groves are increasing, and now they are irrigated almond groves, not the traditional way, so the needs are a lot of land transformation. And well, we are using a clustered installation of nest boxes. That is, well, if you see, it's clustered. They were ISAP previous nest boxes for Hupus, but we increased the numbers of the nest. And the occupation in this place is around 30% of occupation, including every species that uses it, that are Hupus, scops owls, little owls, starling also, and even 2 cases of green woodpeckers that are quite lazy and they don't want to do their hole. And one of the special things is that the nest boxes are installed in all oaks and not in pylons. That I think is something different from what is previously said. And well, in this population, we have done an intense work of monitoring also. We ringed every chicks in the nest, and we capture almost the 76% of the population of adult breeders. And from the total of breeders, the 37% is recapture rate. So there is a renewal rate of 62.6% per year. And I think that this is the main challenge that we have here, that we don't know too much about the population dynamic of this site. We don't know where these new individuals come from, and it's interesting that we are very close to the Almeria population. It's only 100 kilometers away, and we never shared any adult or any chick that decide to breed in her population, or vice versa. And one interesting thing is that the recruitment is also very low. I don't know the other rates, but in all these years we have detected at 3.5, that is more or less the same than in Almeria. And we don't know where they're going, because they are not coming here, or they're another population. And, well,
Thank you. Well, in Catalonia, the population, the roller used to be in all kind of natural cavities, like in tree holes, in banks, in sand cliffs, in all buildings. But in recent years, due to the habitat transformation, there is a lack of natural holes. So the implementation of nest boxes help to maintain the population in some areas, and in other areas even to increase the population. But in some places there were these kind of artificial structures. They were intended for less ancestral, no money, but not for roller. And we are finding that there is a problem with jackdaw competition in a long term. But I think we should review this kind of artificial nest structures. And then in general, in Catalonia, which is northeast Spain, very close to France, we have been following the general distribution of population for more than 20 years. And also in the two main populations, we have one very close to France and the other in the west. We have done more specific studies about breeding success, habitat selection, etc.
So rapidly, threats. I think that most of the threats are common to all of you. Habitat transformation, dependence of nest boxes. I am happy to have here this on you. As Angelo said, by principle, we should not admit nest boxes as a permanent solution. We can talk about this later on. Yeah, sorry. Lack of nesting places, pesticides, drought in our biogeographical scenario. Drought is important, human disturbance, and from time to time competition with jackdaws. Some examples, I will go very fast. Habitat management, just have a look at the amount of land modified by greenhouses and by olive tree plantations. There are some other particular cases like palm cutting because they are infected by invasive species, or this big infrastructure. Yeah, rural conservation. To our knowledge, there are no changes in policies at the national level. Yeah, neither direct nor indirect actions. This is the protected areas, and I will just focus on this. The coverage in natural and national park with management actions is only 9%. In some populations it's 0%, in some others it's just a little bit higher. What is the main goal in Spain regarding the rural population? There is no main goal, no official main goal. Each of us can have a goal and probably agrees with most of your cases. There are some specifications in the Spanish Red List of birds, but they are similar. I prefer to focus on specific cases. Recent conservation activities, it has been elected Bird of the Year in 2012. Some experiments, some studies with satellite tracking, and some live projects not focused exclusively on the roller, but the roller could benefit of this knowledge. Scientific findings. Well, we have got some information about nest box selection. It's important to know whether nest boxes are an ecological trap, how they are working, if they are working well or bad in comparison to natural cavities, something like Timothy said. Differences in breeding parameters and on cavity types, differences in microclimate. I agree with Timothy, we found something similar. Important to know about the dynamics of colonization of nest sites, effects of nest box supplementation on the nesting habits. Parasites is a word has not been said here before. Parasites and pathogens are an increasing threat, and I think all of you have found parasites in your beds. But what do we know about the host-parasite relationships in rollers and competition with other animals? We have also some results on non-breeding grounds, but I will not say anything because Juan will explain tomorrow. ISAP update, as you say, I think there is still much to do. And where should we focus? Here are some of our opinions. Pros and cons of nest boxes as a breeding set for rollers. I think it's important. We have to understand very well what happens when a roller is breeding in a nest box, mainly in comparison to natural sites or other sites. Yeah. How to bring rollers back to natural nesting sites. As I said, we are making some experiments, and we can tell you if you are interested in this. How to facilitate rollers' adaptation to new agricultural situations. This is also important. Habitat change has been mentioned very frequently, but how do we deal with this? We should discuss this. From my point of view, farmers have to win money, and if they win money, they will invest in protection. Yeah? Traditional farming, like somebody else, it's an utopia. It will not come back. So we have to work with a new scheme of agriculture. This new scheme must be based on economical profit of farmers. Yeah, we can discuss later on. Anticipation of impact due to rapid habitat loss. I think a good example is the one by Robert. They are anticipating what will happen with their pylons, and we should all be ready to do something similar. And this is also very important for us. We need further knowledge on population dynamics through long-term demographic studies. I have my population, it's very nice for me and for my rollers because they do not go to Juan's population, and he and his rollers are thinking the same. And it was also similar with Austria. Yeah, we have no idea about the population dynamics. We have to go on with this. And I think that's all. Sorry, a little bit too fast, but there was quite some information on our side.